to the finished product. Take us through the steps.
All right, so yeah, it gets approved by Chris Roberts through the concept stations. It's either a 2D concept or a 3D concept. In this case, it was a 3D model already. And then, so basically, I'll start out with a simple block out.
So this is we're going to the original. This is the original model you get from.
So this is
Massive
the
Black.
actual concept model I got.
Okay.
And you can see there's a lot of problems with it. It was mainly, it wasn't modeled like this. It was just messed up from the exporter.
Right.
But basically, yeah.
It seems very. It seems. I mean, polygonally, it seems like it's got just a few, and we're going for a real high depth look.
Yeah, it's very low res. Very simple and block out type. And so what I do is I basically go in and retopologize it and rebuild it with a cleaner mesh.
Topologize.
Yes.
I topologize.
I'm a topologist.
Yeah, you're a topologist. So you're going in there, cleaning it all up, making it look rounder, sleeker.
Well, first I actually make the mesh so it's smooth and it makes sense. You have to build things a certain way to make it work correctly and to make it clean, just basically clean.
Where do you go after this?
So after this part is the block out, and then it goes from that to basically I'll just start refining and cutting in more, and then you kind of end up with something like this where you can see there's a lot more polys and a lot more definition.
Right, so you've really, really ramped up the amount of triangles or polygons in there too.
Now this also is already a textured version.
Oh,
I'll show you just the grayscale, the difference. But yeah, you can see the edges are like smoother and things look more rounded out, like they have a certain highlight to them.
And do you have to worry about scale at all for pilots and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have, fortunately, our animator Brian, he made us a little proxy model of a pilot that he reaches at all the screens and stuff, and so I can use him as a template for my interior place. And so, yeah, just what I have here is the interior model for the 300i.
Oh, look at that.
And it was, that model was used to make sure all the dimensions are right and it fit the character, fit the player correctly.
Right, so now, you've been working on this a while. This is not a quick process. This is not something you get a concept from and then a week later you've got a finished product, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely not a week-long deal.
Yeah.
There were a couple of growing pains with this, so we're figuring out workflow and stuff like that. And it's definitely, we're modeling these game assets in a different way than traditional game assets are modeled, where you use like a low amount of polys and you kind of bake in normal maps. You bake in maps for all the details. In our case, since we want a lot of resolution out of the textures, when you walk up to it, we're using tile textures. So the modeling process is a little bit different.
Yeah, and everything has to work on this thing, like the wheel wells, the doors, the ladder needs a place to. Once it goes in there, it's actually part of the model, right?
Yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah, I model everything out, so I do little test animations to make sure things fit and whatnot. And here's like a little demo of like the landing gear coming out.
Wow.
With the ladders and stuff.
Cool. And we'll take a look at that with Brian here in a little bit too,
Yeah.
so you can show exactly how that all happens. Because I mean, sometimes when you model stuff, if they don't have the collisions on right, it'll just pop through the floorboard or something. And you need to find a place to fit all that.
Yeah, it was a little back and forth between Brian and me, for sure. Some things will always pop in and some issues will come up, but we'll get those worked out.
So this is a pretty sexy ship. So you're gonna have some customizable parts. So can you show a little bit about some of the stuff and how you customize or how you plan for that?
So initially, when we modeled the 300i, the plans for the engine and stuff came a little bit later. Fortunately, though, the design of the ship was already sort of modular, and so I was able to take away the engine to replace it with different power plants. And here I'll give you like a little preview of one of the variations for the 300i.
Sure.
Right here is the alternative version for the 300i. This is going to be called the 315p. And basically what I've done here is replace this whole area. Basically, well, except for the air scoop in this case. But everything else, the whole engine will be replaced.
It's not really an air scoop. It's more of a hydrogen scoop.
Hydrogen, yes, sorry. I'm so earth-based.
That's okay. Maybe it's a
hydrogen
dual
scoop.
hydrogen air scoop. It has dual roles.
Yes, particle scoop.
Particle scoop, thank you.
And so yeah, basically, we wanted a bulkier, beefier version of the engine for this one base.
Right, so basically you can take your 300i, you can upgrade it with better engines, missiles, guns. You can really customize what you want to do with it.
Yes, so the engine is part one. Like here is a small block out, which I already have a model for, but this is the proxy. This will be something like a tractor beam that you can upgrade to.
Nice.
The block out, usually a turret fits on there and it kind of comes down and it scoots
Slides forward or whatever. Very cool.
In this case, anything that you attach to the thing will
So you have a
the same
hard point.
action.
You have a hard point right there, and we design things that can be attached to that hard point, either be guns, radars, turrets, things, whatever you can do to your ship. That's one of the places you can attach
While
it.
we're here, I'll show you some in-game shots.
Oh, now that's cool. Now this is actually in game, right?
So yeah, this is exported into the CryEngine with its lighting and everything, and it's got lights added, so it looks in the materials, the shininess is added to it, so it definitely gives a little bit more zing. And again, yeah, hard points. So here's like a laser cannon that will be interchangeable. Here are missiles that will be. On some versions, they won't be there. On some versions,
Yeah,
they
it's up to
will.
the person, whatever they put on their ship.
And then later on, they can always add them.
Can we get into there?
Yeah, we can take a look.
Take a
So
look.
you kind of walk in.
It's got a little leather on the sides there.
It's a little bit plush, yes. It was we're kind of wanting to mimic the nice like Mercedes-ish, BMW-ish
Beautiful
look
looking. Look at that.
with some leather. Yeah, it's got the little cigar lounge feel
Your
to
cigar lounge in the 300i.
it. And then you walk up to it. Yeah, that's basically how you walk up to your cockpit. It's through the ladder,
Right.
and then through the little hallway and to your seat.
Very
And
nice.
here's your command center.
Command console?
Yes. See, it
Wow.
looks a lot better in here than it does in Max.
Yeah, it does. Actually, the CryEngine, and this, folks, is why we've chosen the CryEngine. You can see the detail there and how pretty it is.
And this already has like a little bit of a lighting pass on the inside with some new lighting, and how the ship would look in the game.
All right, man.
Once you're going around flying with it.
Well, there, folks. There's the 300i. Thank you, Chris, for showing us a sneak
welcome.
peek or a peek of what people are going to be getting pretty soon. And now we're going to head over to Brian Brewer and take a look at the how animations work on the thing. As promised, now we're over here with Brian. We're going to take a look at some of the things we have to do on the 300i to give you those realistic animations to make it look real and really come alive. So, hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good.
Good. So this is the 300i. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts on it, right?
That's right. We're trying to make all of our ships articulate and move and feel a little more alive, as opposed to like the static vehicles you get in the average game.
Right, exactly. So let's get an example of what. Show me something here that you're going to articulate, or things you're going to move around. Like what kind of things?
For example, we're doing the landing gear. So I take the landing gear, I rig it up.
Now rig it up. What does that mean? Rig it up.
Okay, so what I do is in the case of the landing gear, it's a skinned mesh. So I create a skeleton. I take that skeleton, I put constraints on that skeleton, and then I animate the skeleton. And that allows all the pistons, the hydraulics, everything that's articulates to move properly.
Show them moving. You can see. And look at that. You can see actually the pistons coming down. Like boom, it goes a little further down. So all that stuff, it's a skeleton, and that's the same process you use for character animation, correct?
That's correct. And because this is a vehicle, we have two different types of animation that we use. We have skeletal animation on a skinned object, such as the landing gear. Then we have animated geometry, such as the doors, on this for the landing gear. So the landing gear doors are actually animated geometry that I went in, I broke apart, I created pivots, and animated all these parts individually in order to work proper in the CryEngine.
Well, this is the kind of level of detail they can expect out of all of our ships.
Yeah, I want a high level of accuracy in animation. I'll give you another example on this door. So on this door, we have like this handle here, and if I scrub over to that animation, you can see that the handle actually starts to spin.
Right, I see that right there. Yeah, that's really cool.
And then the door lifts up and out of the way. Let me back up.
Now let's
here.
back
We
up and
can-
get a good look at that door.
So here's the
And this
door.
is one of the things Chris wants in all of his games, right? Is this level of realism. Look at that.
So this is a little more complex. It is several pieces that have been broken apart, fixed, parented, put together, and animated. When you actually do get inside your ship,
Right. Which will be in the hangar.
which will be in the hangar, and you push the open door button, and you get to see the move up and articulate.
Just like real life. So you're on your own Lamborghini / gold wing doors on the 300i.
Yeah. So and that's just a small piece. I mean, there's lots of things like we have a hatch here on the top that articulates. It'll open up an airlock. So if you want to couple with a larger ship,
Right.
and get inside of it out in space, you should be able to dock. It should be able to open up, drop a ladder down, and you'd be able to climb out and get inside that other ship. We have, when you go planet side, we have flaps. It's a very small animation. It's just a slider that's created and will get played programmatically in code depending on what the player inputs. So he pushes up on the keyboard or it pulls back on his flight stick or whatever it happens to be, and it will cause these flaps to go up and down.
And there's all kinds of things that get animated as well, like guns, any reticulating parts on missiles, any of those kind of things. The fins maybe extending out. Now, do you have any engine movement back there?
Yeah, we do. So let me turn on my little helpers here so I can see what I'm doing.
Right.
And okay, so this is.
And what are those green things? They're like they help you, whichever animations they help you control.
So, yeah, so they do several different things. The ones that I have selected here are controls, so I can actually control the
Just
different
set
parts of my
objects?
engine.
Right, okay,
So
fair enough.
I'll put my keys on this, and then I'll bake it
And
down.
you have this on faces, body parts. The helpers are all over in anything you're animating, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So what I do is I set up a bunch of controllers on this engine, so we can open it up, we can close it, go into our
Wow.
afterburner, and then I add a little bit more flair to it. So these open up, so you can kind of get this nice little animation of
Wow,
it.
that is really cool.
So if you can imagine it being like on the runway and the camera's behind the ship, and you see the afterburners kick on right before it's getting ready to take off, and it does this little pulsation, it pulses and fluctuates, and then tightens up, and you take
Away
off.
you go.
And then when you hit the brakes, it just kind of opens up and
Right on.
helps you slow down.
Very, very cool. So now let's get inside. There's some animations in the cockpit, right?
All right, so one of the things we want an interactive cockpit, right? We want mechanics to articulate and panels to come up that you can interact with and whatnot. So we have our chair here, which spins around, so you can actually comfortably.
Right, you got to be able to get into the chair.
Have
You
to be
can't
able
just
to get-
climb over the back.
Yeah, it's a little
Again,
tight.
details, folks. It's all about the details.
So the chair spins around, you hop in, you'll be able to put your seatbelt on, if it's a seatbelt system. And after you sit down, all the controls come to life and fold out, and panels come up and allow you to interact with it. And the way we set these animations up for this is we have kind of two animations. We have a deploy and a retract kind of an animation. So, you sit down and all the panels come out like so, and then we say freeze on that frame in engine.
So that's kind of like the
Yeah.
wait state or the.
Yeah, so now it's in an interactive state for your character, and they can punch buttons and whatever it happens to be. And then when you decide, all right, I'm going to get up out of my seat, it will play the retract, and it will pull the controls back and let you out of your seat.
Very, very cool. Well, cool. Well, thanks, everybody. This has been Brian having a look at the animations on 300i, and you've got a lot of ships to do.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ships.
And a lot of
This is
animations.
So I think it's a full-time job doing this.
Yeah,
stuff,
so you'll see more of Brian too when we do a little more in-depth look at the mocap studio, which we got because they helped us get it. That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be great. In fact, I can't wait until we get our character animating, and then I'm animating a character to this as opposed to just arbitrarily animating things, just to get it to working right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys, and that's a look at the 300i.
It's working right now. Here.
All right, thanks, guys. And that's a look at the 300i.
Here, you're here.
All right. All right, we're back. All right. So what'd you guys think of that?
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just love the little details that you guys put in there.
The little details are cool. Chris, you need to turn your mic on, buddy.
Reminded me of Go Go Girls.
Either that or it's our mic.
Playing
That's
around
our.
the dress.
No, our mic's on.
Oh, definitely.
It's right there.
You can see the flash.
There we are. We're back.
Oh, there you go. Woo!
See, I knew to mute mine so we didn't have like a delay between the Twitch and this.
The thing we did with Aaron on the rubric.
Yeah.
We had Chris's brother on the 24-hour live stream, and we tried to do Ustream to Ustream calls, and it was like we'd ask him a question, and he would sit there. 10 seconds go by. We look like the guy on Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Oklahoma.
So the new site definitely is not auto updating. Just to let Zane know, because I have to refresh it to get it to change.
Right. Okay.
You expect
On
me
the
to
counter.
pick one?
Doug told me that it was updating every 120 seconds.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And also
He's
the
one that built
the 300i, just so everyone knows, the making of the 300i is the third item now in the carousel. So if you want to go back and watch that.
Yeah. Okay. So if you missed that, if you missed the 300i pipeline, it's the third item in the carousel.
Cool. Is there a
You
feature
guys-
in there? I get just black on this, Zane.
Shane said it updates every 120 seconds, Chris.
But I'm saying the making of 300 doesn't have a featured image in it.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's probably because of the video.
Okay.
We'll put one in.
Okay. Cool.
All
So
right.
what did you guys think of the 300i? I mean,
It was gorgeous. You had me at the Golden Doors. Yeah, now I need one.
When are we revealing the? When's our schedule for the director's cut of the commercial?
You just now they know. Well, we have
At the end, I guess.
we have the variance video at 10 p.m. our time. Is this our time? Yeah, our time. So 8 p.m. yours.
Okay, so variance video at 10 p.m. Your time, 8 p.m. ours, and then the last thing that we'll do is we'll do the director's cut of the 300i, which is like a
That's sweet. I mean, it's beautiful.
an extravaganza.
Yeah, you got. That's it. You give your little if you're still awake. You give your update. And then we do the 300. The out is the director's cut. Cool.
I just can't wait for 10 p.m. to roll around. He's going to be asleep in his cot, and someone's going to come running over the camera. Please give us an update. Go away.
There's a lot of stuff coming up. We've got the 300 pipeline. We've got new stretch goals coming up in an hour. Foshko, I guess, is going to show up at your place pretty soon somehow. I imagine he's coming from the airport. So the lead writer of Chris and I worked with Adam at Origin on Wing Commander 3, Wing Commander 4, and then a Digital Anvil on Freelancer and a bunch of other stuff. And he's the lead writer for Activision now. Does all the Call of Duties, all this, and actually the Skylanders, which is interesting.
Oh, wow.
So that's an odd way of doing it. He's really talented, and he's going to show up there. He was here this morning.
What?
We
Oh, so
interviewed.
he came from here.
He was he was on his way from New York, and he decided to make a stop into Austin to come see us and the show. And so we interviewed him this morning on the hangar.
That's
right
great.
10 minutes before the show started. Then he caught a plane, and he's going to go show up in L.A.
Busy man, busy day. That's literally cross country.
It is. I know, New York to L.A. He's an awesome guy too. So do y'all? Anybody here have a 300i?
Yeah.
I think he does. I have a constellation.
Skeleton.
No.
I'm one of the people that gave into the tree fit ER. That thing's about to be amazing.
The racer.
Yeah. I feel like racing around and I'm going to hit like an asteroid.
Well, we got the unlimited insurance for it.
Yeah, right? I went to the, I wrecked it again. Give me another one.
It's pressure. You squeeze it sideways that way.
I don't got the 50. I missed it because I came in May. I'm one of the late backers.
So okay, well you came in May, right? How did you find out about this?
I was playing War Thunder, which is like.
I play War Thunder. I love War Thunder.
Yes!
Oh God, I'm so into the War Thunder.
And it was in their chat roll. Someone was like, "Oh, Star Citizen." And I'm like, "That sounds kind of weird." And then they're like, "No, it's gonna be the next greatest awesome thing." And I Googled it and found the website, with mind blown. And I went to Kickstarter to throw money in, and it was closed. I'm like, "How do I? No!" But then I found the website. And immediately, my wallet cried that night.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for joining. I mean, it's funny. It's funny how many people we have, and still how many people join. I mean, we have thousands that join us a week still that just find out about us and show up and.
I think it's.
So hey, Eric.
Yes, sir.
So I want to. You guys want to say hi to everyone out there? So I don't know how many we got watching right now. I haven't looked at the numbers on Twitch, but 6,000-7,000 probably.
Was it that thing down there?
Yeah, it'll tell us how many we have right there. What's it say?
It says on the Twitch.
Right there?
Yep.
No, right there's one we want.
6,400.
I did. That one.
You guys.
Okay. So I'm Kim. This is Anna.
Hi, Kim and Anna.
Yeah, we founded a guild called Valnor Aerospace, and we're a roleplay oriented group.
Okay,
And-
awesome.
Yeah.
Where did you guys come in from today?
Actually from Arcadia.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
so
that
not
far.
that far.
Yeah.
No, about 40.
We
50
bucked
minutes.
the trend.
There was a bit of a trend.
gradually south, and now we've come back.
Hey, who's come the farthest?
I'm from Michigan.
You came from Michigan for this?
Yeah. I had offered like way back when. I had offered.
Okay, so we have Eric. We have a fan. We have here we go.
And then I decided to go visit my friends.
Fair enough.
It's upside down.
Sit down.
Cool. Well, we do have somebody coming from Edmonton. What do we got there, Chris?
Made a poster for us. Awesome.
Oh, you got to bring that to the camera, baby.
It's indoors, so we have the UE trademark
Right,
registration,
registration.
the Terra trade license.
Awesome. Awesome. Look at that. No, no trading in the stars. Let's see if we can get this
Chris joined?
the camera.
Don't let me speak for Chris.
There you go.
That is sweet.
Dude, I want this.
I think he's the
poster. I
honorary
want a
member.
copy.
Remember right?
It's really pretty. And
Wow.
see, we got UEE stuff. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see that on camera? UEE registered. Nice. Trademark registered. Is actually the whole thing. They're in fiction, just like our commercials.
We actually have a detailed
That-
company history.
That's the idea, the immersion, man.
on the
Yeah.
timeline.
When we did the 300i, we didn't put anything up there about
We're gonna let
item
groups.
stream or anything. It's just
We're gonna let groups and guilds have their own. They basically own their own like factories and all that kind of stuff. So.
Excellent. Also, this is
This camera makes me look fat.
as well as
Huh?
This camera makes me look fat.
several.
That's because you're no.
I'm on the
No.
show Friday looking fat.
I ordered a shirt too small.
They are impactful files. There are 3 videos.
What size shirt is it?
You don't still want your ring, no.
I might have a big one.
I actually emailed
I really appreciate it.
you. Can you say?
Maybe. I mean, I might have an extra or two.
Wow,
I'm trying to lose weight too, by the way.
Aaron,
Yes, sir.
We can upload this on this side to you guys.
We have like 2 minutes.
Like 2-minute little videos for these that we could put on the stream would be kind of cool. So do you want to just give that video a try to upload it? So we don't need to do it just now, but we can.
Oh, they brought a video.
Oh, they brought a video. Do they want to get it on the thing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have their own their video for their corporation in Star Citizen.
Well,
Have them get it to Travis, and we'll flip it across the Dropbox on Mike, and we'll put it up.
That's what's happening right now.
Wow.
See how that works? Chris just tells me something. The stuff just happened. Make it so number one.
Power of the cloud.
Well, awesome. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. It was really
Brilliant.
nice.
Thank you for backing and supporting. I tell it to everyone, so they're all probably sick of it.
Yeah, it was like,
But,
when I saw Star Citizen, I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
she's-
look at that.
Oh, she's-
I pledged, I basically
You guys
bought
have,
her.
have the 24-hour stream on the day I have off work. 'Cause I'm a night security guy.
Right.
Actually, gotta leave around 6 or 7.
Actually, show later on.
Gotta get back to
I
work.
gotta get back to work this morning, Saturday at 12:30.
So
All right,
it's
cool.
fiction. We have like a
That's
video.
probably about the time I'll be on the cot, hoping to protect my eyebrows from getting shaved off.
Oh.
It's constantly gonna drip water on you whenever
So
you
it's almost like a
Yeah, well, I gotta coach my kids' soccer game in the morning. It's like
No way.
we're undefeated. You can't be.
Shit and stuff. So
Can't be blowing
ran
that.
out the last time.
Huh?
You ran out the last time.
I did, but I have. Yeah, I got to. I'm not gonna stay 24 hours. Actually, I am. I'll be here sleeping away off.
all this
So are they
happens.
gonna have a cam on each
Peaceful version, and also they want-
Oh, wow.
For whatever reason.
They're gonna come in the middle of the night, so like people like stacking stuff.
I know.
Riding on
Yeah,
your
probably
face.
right. I'm sure they're gonna. Yeah. You see, was the opening of the show today?
No, I've been on the road.
So Mark Skelton is here
That's why
with his wingman mask on, opening the show.
making the game.
Oh, it's so cool. I have my own hookah as well.
Do what?
I have my own hookah as well.
You have a hookah?
Oh yeah.
We got a hookah here.
Are you guys doing music right now?
We have a hookah. We got fans sent us some cigars. We're gonna open those a little bit later.
Nice.
So, what the early
I got those at home from the Bahamas. I snuggled them in.
You're on mic.
I snuggled.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna have to come all the way around.
Even when
In
you
front of the
work-
camera. Thank you.
A whole bunch of coffee.
Yep, we're good. That's the coats right over here.
I wish I could have brought some.
Oh, the
for you
brown
guys.
coat's like straight firefly. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
Right on. I'm a big Firefly now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for a guild. I posted in the looking for guild forum, and of course, you know, I was getting flooded. I saw the Broncos thing going. I like join, deny all.
We're looking to misbehave.
Yeah.
I said I like y'all's little logo.
That also means that you can do things quicker because you don't have to double check.
Going for a tour?
So it's just.
Have y'all had a tour?
You know, we had a tour. Everyone's just kind of hectic around here. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
It takes. You want to get a tour?
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'll give you. Who wants a tour? I'm gonna give some guys a tour, Chris.
Like this sells
Yeah,
better.
we don't have a big enough audience yet. I know you've got the diehard gamers, but like, how are
Not
the
everybody can leave. I mean, I guess we.
We're not as entertaining as you on camera.
Maybe give a tour.
So we don't have to.
I am now in charge.
Kickstarter thing is very
This is the moment where Picard leaves and the actor takes the joystick and crashes the Enterprise.
Yeah, no, I movie, a lot of entertainment is going to make it dynamic. It'll be a big shift.
Man.
Thank you, appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, you go direct, you basically, you don't need.
Brian.
Oh, I worked for EA for a while. Hey,
Howdy.
Daniel, how you doing?
Doing good.
You gonna be
Still
here?
awake.
What's that?
Still awake.
Still awake?
It's early.
It's early, yeah. It's
I'm normally working nights, so
okay.
this is the time I usually go to bed.
Were you working nights last night, or was it just a?
No, I took some vacation.
Okay. Yeah, working nights is crazy. So I mean, not that I've done. I mean, other than late programming, I like the last film I did was a movie called Outlander, which we shot in Canada, in
Love that.
house mostly, and we had 6 weeks of night shoots. Basically, there's a big Viking, I guess, village or town or whatever, and it gets attacked by this monster at night. And so we did 6 weeks of night shooting, and it's like you're in the twilight zone when you work at night because you're like getting up when it's dark, and you're basically going to bed as everyone's going to work. And you think it's kind of cool for a day or two, but after you do it for more than 2 or 3 days, it's like really weird. Your whole body's cycles off, and you're like completely feel like you're on the moon. So, not that I do it for a long time. Like if I guess there's a fair amount of people that work nights, but for that 6 weeks, it was definitely a different thing.
I've been doing it for 12 years, and I call myself Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Definitely children of the night once you've been doing it for a while.
Wow. Well, my hat's off to you. I'm not sure I could. It's kind of it's a challenge. I think working nights. So I guess you'll be good later tonight and not so good during the day.
That's why I brought the steins, so we can
Okay.
fill up with coffee with some alcohol.
Who said that?
Yep.
Let's see what's happening back on the website.
Yeah, it's just too big.
What's happening? Ben is on Hangout.
I don't know who's this. Are they all the same?
The ones in the bottom look like this.
Rob is on 9.
12 of the Star Citizens and 6 of the Open Crowns. I wasn't sure if I was able to get those made. Zazzle was denying every time I put in the order because of the logo. So I had to prove to them I had to.
So has anyone got any questions since we have Daniel? Should we ask some questions of one of our design stalwarts?
Actually, Chris, I have a question for you. For the immersion, I know you're going totally into it. I had an idea. I talked to with my fellow.
I'm thinking the branches.
I was thinking like there's gonna be your helmets on the space suits, correct?
Yeah.
And I was also thinking like maybe there's a like you can have a choice to like take it off.
No, you can. You definitely. I mean, if you're in your ship, like most of the ships, you don't need to be wearing